Hello, welcome to WonderFest World Stream Series, presented by Let's Make Good Productions. I'm your host, Arlene, and I'm thrilled to have my partner, Kat Leonard, behind the scenes. She's going to actually be chatting with us also. And our artist for today is performing from Auckland, New Zealand. It's Logan Sutherland. I'm so excited. But first, before we start the show, the land we'd like to make an acknowledgement. We acknowledge the land we are meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. Very thrilled to have an incredible artist with us today. First, I'm going to share a song. This one's called My Favorite. Your love is like the mighty sun, and mine is like the sea. When we meet, I'm not so blue. Your eyes shine like paradise, twinkle in the night, burn brighter than the moon. There's gonna be a time when we're together. There'll be a day when we say forever. Oh boy, you should know I will treat you better, 'cause you're my favorite. You're my favorite. You're my favorite. And when I'm lying in your arms, the world around us fades, oh fantasy come true. You pull me into you real tight, so close that I can feel your heartbeat coming through. There's gonna be a time when we're together. There'll be a day when we say forever. Oh boy, you should know I will treat you better, 'cause you're my favorite. You're my favorite. You're my favorite. Oh, oh. Ooh, oh, ooh, oh, yeah. All of your jokes are so outrageous. That laugh is quite contagious. Oh boy, your smile is the sweetest. 'Cause you're my favorite. Oh, there's gonna be a time when we're together. There'll be a day when we say forever. Oh boy, you should know I will treat you better, 'cause you're my favorite. You're my favorite. You're my favorite. Oh, you're my favorite. Thanks. If you like that song, you can check it out on my Spotify or on my website and all the streaming platforms. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce you guys to our artist today, Logan Sutherland. Yes.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. Thanks. Yeah, I'm keeping well.
Excellent. I'm so excited to see you virtually.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a while since we caught up, eh? I
Definitely.
think your album release was the last time I saw you.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm excited that you're going to share a few songs with us, and then we'll have a quick chat. So I'll let you take it away.
Cool, thanks. my heart. Foolish, losing myself to this, drowning in your arms. And it's finally falling your ways, living in the sweet days. Always want you to stay. Lonely, tearing down my soul. Love me, elevate my heart. It's heartache, now I'm sharing my days. You lighten up my nights. Whispers fade to kisses. Calling me alone. 'Cause finally falling your ways, living in the sweet days. Always want you to stay. Lonely, hearing how my soul beats. Love me, elevate my heart. Now that I've got you, oh my blues have begun to fade away, fade away. Love me, pull me in slowly, elevate my heart, girl, drowning in your arms. Love me, don't ever leave. You're the one I need to breathe. I tell you, girl, elevate my heart. Love me, pull me in slowly, elevate my heart, girl, drowning in your arms. Love me, don't ever leave. You're the one I need to breathe. Tell you, girl, elevate my heart. Okay. That was my first song, called Love Me. I just finished recording it a while ago and coming out soon, I hope.
Yeah.
And this other one I actually just wrote over lockdown. I had a bit of spare time. So been playing a lot of guitar lately, and so I wrote a new song, and it'd be cool to kind of share a new song with everyone. So this next one is. Oh, Valentine, lay your head on my heart, rest your weary soul. It's been a lonely road. Here we are, home away from our home, going strong. Forever in my heart you stay. When the stars they shine, no one knows their fate. Open up your world, flower in the rain. Here we are, don't you ever fade away. Oh, my Valentine, won't you stay? Oh, love of mine, no refrain. In the trying time, here we are. Oh, my Valentine, won't you stay? Oh, my Valentine, won't you stay? Oh, love of mine, no refrain. In the trying time, here we are. Oh, my Valentine, won't you stay? Yeah.
Woo! Awesome! That was
Well, thanks for
great.
letting me
That was
play.
beautiful.
Cheers. Yeah.
Of course.
No, it's cool.
Anyway,
I
like-
think. I was saying it's been a good time to be able to get back and actually really enjoy just playing music. I mean, you don't have all that pressure of like, I gotta go gig and I gotta release my music and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, just being back and well, especially over summer when it was still really nice and having to work and that kind of stuff and hustle, whatever. It was been really good to just get back into music again.
That's cool. Are you, do you find that you're just kind of writing when the inspiration hits you, or is it like, oh, I've got some time, I'm just going to write a song about
Yes.
this?
It's been a lot more like just sitting down and playing around with different sounds and I guess exploring a lot more than I normally do. I think normally I kind of like I'm out and about doing something and I kind of come up with an idea and I'm like, shit, I gotta go home and turn that into a song or something. Whereas this, I guess I've just been more experimenting with different things and just kind of going, this sounds kind of cool. And then, or like I had an old idea, like that was an old idea. I just kind of had the riff and the first verse, and then I was like, I really got to finish that song. So
Nice. Yeah, the guitar with the da 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 da. It's very catchy.
Thanks.
No problem.
So I had a real fun demoing it all out, getting better at Logic and trying some stuff that I perhaps wouldn't normally do. So it's good.
Wow, that's awesome.
How about yourself,
So-
Arlene? What's happening?
Kind of similar things, but not so much recording, but more so practicing a lot more, or actually practicing at all. Because before I wouldn't practice as much; it would just be with my band. But I'm learning to embrace and to love practicing piano again.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. It's good
So-
because like normally you have that like pressure of I've got to you've got like I've got a gig I got to rehearse for, or I've got the studio I got to rehearse for. Whereas when you don't have any of that, you can really kind of just like I'll just see what happens and maybe I'll learn this song or I'll do that without the pressure of like I got to learn it to play it for a gig or.
That's true. That's a great way to look at it too, and I'm definitely experiencing that also. I'm trying to segue into the topic that you want to talk to, but I can't. But like, with the pandemic, with everything, there's lots of things happening in the world, and one thing that's kind of on the back burner, I guess, in terms of media, is climate change, and I'm happy that you want to chat about it. don't know a lot about it. So I'm curious to know what sprung up your um, your request to chat about it today.
Well, I spent a lot of time in the ocean, and the ocean is really, really big. It's 70-80% of the world is just ocean. But it's amazing how much you notice, even out in the middle of the ocean, the effect that we are having on the world. And I think a lot of places you go, it's very easy to just, you see stuff on the ground and then it just goes away and you forget about it. And and I guess that it really symbolizes how we kind of treat the world in general, that once it kind of washes out to sea, we kind of forget about it. And what we don't realize is that it's really kind of like building up. And a lot of, I guess this pandemic's kind of put a lot of that on hold for a bit, but only paused it momentarily. It's still, something that we need to think about. And I don't know. I guess there's some good things and some bad things have come out of with this pandemic. I guess it's should really force us to look at it more. It's like a good chance to kind of, now that we've, like, when we're just go every day, it's very hard to kind of sit back and go, okay, how do we need to fundamentally change the way we live to, improve the world? Because I guess the biggest thing is that everyone's like, oh, we've got to save the world, but really it's actually we've got to save ourselves and society, because as we see that, you shut down one country and, we'll run out of supplies and that kind of stuff. That's how delicately, like, the world is balanced. And
Right.
so, we imagine when we get to a point where crops start failing and, floods start happening, and then suddenly we'll realize that, it would have been a lot easier to do things sooner to keep the world as it is than it will be in 10, 20 years. And I
That's
think
true.
yeah.
Yeah, I want to also bring Kat up too to add to this conversation. What I've been learning in terms of how the pandemic is affecting the planet is because a lot of us are not using our cars, and we're like, a lot of more people are biking and walking and all that stuff. Some of it is kind of like you said, it's kind of put it on a pause. I don't know how it is in New Zealand, but I know Kat and I were just talking about how, like, traffic, the traffic here for a while there wasn't a lot. It wasn't beating
And
out into
how much better is that, eh? When you can, like, walk or ride your bike down the street, you don't have to worry about being run over by cars. You can go sit outside of your cafe and not have to worry about choking on the fumes, kind of thing. I think that's another big thing, is that, like, it's not like, I don't know, I guess traditionally it's kind of been looked at as like, oh, we have to sacrifice this or sacrifice that for the world. But there's a lot of, like, positives in that. It's really nice to live where there's lots of trees and no cars, and this it actually can be a really good thing and save the planet at the same time, I guess. Is like, another big thing is like fashion's a big one. The turnover of all the time of clothing and how that destroys the world. Maybe
Right.
maybe we don't have to go out all the time and buy new clothes, and
Oh.
just just lots of stuff like that. Like, how nice is it when you go to a beach and it's clean? It's not plastic everywhere. Like, it's actually things that will make our life better are actually also things that will help the planet, I guess, is a way we can look at it. Yeah.
Do you think that we can reverse it? Do you think we still have time?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you gotta look at. You can either be on two camps. You could either be that, we don't have much of an effect, or if you can see from the pandemic, when we shut down our cars for a month, how clean the cities get, and how much better the air is, and look at the canals in Venice, how clean they got within a couple of weeks. Life bounces back extremely quickly.
Yeah.
It's just whether we want to, we want to be part of that change, or the world is gonna shut us down, and then we're gonna be like, now what do we do? So yeah, I mean, the world will be fine without us. It's how much we want to, create a world where we kind of are in sync with nature and living in a way that is going to mean society is going to stay around for another couple hundred years. But yeah, it can bounce back quickly, but there is certain tipping points is the problem. But yeah, like I said, if we start sooner rather than later, it'll be a lot better for us.
Is there something that you're doing that, like maybe a suggestion that maybe we could do here, that's a change to better the environment around you? I know it's super vague, but
No. Is like, what action can people take individually? Which is a really good question, and it's a tough question, and I think that's probably why we don't do more, is because it's all the little things that add up, right? It's 7 billion people making a little change adds into basically where we're at. And so if we want to change, we need the whole world to kind of all do a little bits of action. It's like if you just go do all the small things and then slowly. I mean, a big one is pressuring governments and just being really supportive, like locally, and people you talk about, just making everyone aware of what's going on, and just like I said, because a lot of things like there's still a lot of subsidies for oil companies. A lot of renewable energies would actually be more competitive than fossil fuel, but fossil fuel companies still get a lot of subsidies because they create jobs and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think just being aware of it and communicating and talking to people and educating yourself is going to make a big change. And then just little things like plastic bottles. I guess consumers actually have a lot of power. Brands will follow pretty quickly if they see, we're not going to have any customers if we keep, if we don't invent sustainable bottles or something.
Right.
Customers actually have a lot of power when it comes to affecting change as well. So, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Are there any resources you would recommend to someone to educate themselves on, the bigger actions, like, whether it's getting active with governments and, forcing change on a bigger level with corporations and stuff, and then also like the little things that people can do individually? Like, where did you learn everything?
Internet. You can find anything on the internet. And not Facebook probably, but just there's lots of different places. I mean, it depends where you are. It's different for every country, every region. You'd have to find out in your own area what you can do and whatnot. I mean, I'm a big supporter of the ocean cleanup, which is started by a little Dutch kid when he was 16, and he basically has been trying to invent a way to clean up all the plastic that circles in the ocean.
Wow.
Yeah, and because it swirls in big currents, and he invented a way that basically you sit this big device and it cleans up all the plastic in the ocean. But yeah, like I said, it depends. I mean, there's lots of different ways you can get involved. So I guess, find a way that will, connects with you, a way you want to get involved. Like, is it if you're really big into biking and you want to get into a cycling group in your local area, and, or if you're like really into reusable plastic, or, gift exchanges kind of thing, or I don't,
Oh, yeah.
explore and then
So-
learn, and
yeah.
then you can tell me.
Well, I was
was
doing a
great.
little bit of research on just transition and the comparisons between New Zealand and Canada and their programs and stuff. So I didn't know if you had looked into that or been active with lobbying governments and looking into that kind of a thing, because as you mentioned, it's a challenge because the economy is run in a certain way and it's highly dependent on fossil fuels right now. So we need to, not take down that industry where then you're going to have a lot of people suffering because they don't have jobs and no recourse that way. So it's got to be done in like a fair and sustainable way. Like it's a systemic change that has to kind of happen. I mean, there's a lot of systemic changes that we have to.
Yeah, I mean,
that's true.
basically what we're talking about is positive change rather than negative change.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to give someone something to work towards as opposed to saying don't do that.
Right.
Yeah, I guess that's a good way of saying, like, we should focus on promoting solar rather than telling people they just can't drive a car.
Right.
Yeah.
Or like creating bike lanes rather than it's like I said, stop people driving or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Cool. I learned a lot.
Yeah, I hope it's helpful.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks, Kat, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. And Logan, what song are you going to take us away with?
A song called Summer, which I actually got it's a little funky tuning, so
Awesome.
I'm going to keep talking while I tune my
yeah,
guitar.
sure. So, what's interesting about the whole pandemic is that a lot of us, well, I use plastic gloves, and I'm seeing like everyone using plastic gloves. It's like, trying to think of the environment. I frequent at my friend's store, Unbox Market. Shout out to Michelle and Luis. Actually, Logan, you would know them. You've played my events at Folly Brew Pub. I don't know if you remember Folly Brew Pub on College.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the owners, they now have a zero waste grocery store where you can refill all your plastics or not plastics, or like jars and things. And they promote little use of plastic. But yeah, it's just interesting. And like, I'm glad that we now have the ability to have reusable masks so that we're not throwing those away a lot. But like, what I learned more about that conversation is how everything's intertwined. Like, we want to try to change something positively, but then something stopping it from the change because the man is bigger.
Yeah.
But I see. Yeah. So.
And it's very hard to not be overwhelmed by it.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess, and that's the thing with a lot of things, right? Like the pandemic as well, and I don't know, just life in general. Not to, you try and think of the big picture, and you get overwhelmed by not being able to affect change in it. It's kind of like voting, right? You're like, oh, my one vote doesn't count. But if everyone thought that way, then that really causes issues, right? You've kind of got to think
right
the same way, and then hopefully other people think in the same positive way, and you create positive change that way.
I love it.
Something like that. All right, let's give this a try. Yeah, the song's called
All right.
Summer.
Yeah.
Because it's not
Take
summer
it.
here where I am, but I guess it's summer where you are.
It is.
For anyone that's wondering, I live in Toronto normally, but I got stuck in New Zealand for this pandemic thing, and so I've just been chilling here on the other side of the world. So it's winter now.
Awesome. Well, take it away.
In the States, drifting by, watching summer reflects its mind. The world brings to life. Oh, the summer, it shines so bright. Hidden hours passing slow, gentle surf tugging undertow. Your soul, it feels so right. Oh, the summer, it shines so bright. Summer love deep in your heart, feel my heart to your light. Sky is weightless, it breathes to life. Oh, my summer, I've fallen to your heart. Peaceful times soothe the mind, sunny seasons, easy lullaby. So it feels so right. Oh, the summer, it shines so bright. Summer love deep in your heart, feel my heart fade into your light. Sky is weightless, it breathes to life. Oh, my summer, I've fallen to your summer love deep in your heart. Feel my heart fade to your light. Sky is weightless, breathes to life. Oh, my summer, I've fallen to your heart. Summer love deep in your heart, feel my heart fade to your heart. The sky is weightless, breathes to life. Oh, my summer, I've fallen to your heart. Summer, the feel like home. My love giving me hope. Summer, you feel like your own giving me hope. Your home brings your own. I know that I'm home.
Woo!
Thanks.
That was gorgeous. Thank you so much for your time and sharing your talent with us and your words.
No problem. Thanks so much for having me on, and good to catch up and see you again and
Yeah,
have
for
a good
sure.
little catch up.
Definitely.
Cool.
Next time it's going to be in person.
Yeah, in person in Toronto. Or somewhere. It could be anywhere. It doesn't have to be
That's
Toronto.
true. You're right.
Let's catch up anywhere.
I love it. Thank you so much, Logan.
No problem. Thanks so much for having me. And
My pleasure.
keep up. And catch you later.
All right, you too. Stay safe. That was Logan Sutherland. Make sure you follow him on Instagram. He also has some stuff on YouTube as well. One thing I want to say is that every time I see Logan, he's like 6 something. I'm sorry, I don't remember how tall you are, but every time he gives me the biggest hug and he picks me up, and it's just like the best thing aside from his music. So I just wanted to say that, Logan. Can't wait to get a hug from you. Thank you to Kat Leonard for her awesome tech and for her conversation as well. I hope that we've inspired you to create, spread empowerment through art. and also take a look at how we can help the environment and help better the world around us. Even though we're one person, it'll help out through the whole planet. My name is Arlene. Find me on Instagram and Facebook at Arlene Official Music, and we'll be back here on Sunday with Chris Hummel from the Dreamboats. Stay safe.